Why, hello, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. I have here my final BT13 deck profile before we move on to BT14 land. I have been slaving over a hot oven all format with this deck, and I've been burning it over and over and over again. But today, well, I guess the last couple of weeks, I found the recipe that was just right for this deck, and it's perfect. It's amazing. And I'm so glad I was able to figure it out. This is the Kentaurosmon deck profile. Took all format to come up with a good deck list for this deck. I really like it. It's doing really well in playtesting, and I just went undefeated at locals with it. So I'm doing this deck profile now. As a nice little send off to BT13 before we move on to more crazier things. Which this is deck you can do it in BT14 too with the yellow vaccine stuff. Fun fact. So yeah, I'm going to show you guys my Kentaurosmon deck. I'm going to show you guys how it works, what works for me, and why it's finally working. And I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know what you think in the comments. And of course, please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Okay, so for the eggs here, 4 Upamon because it's easy to be at 3 security and draw a card when you attack. But we are playing one of the Kaioromon Egg BT13 as jamming if a card is removed from your security stack once per turn. There is a combo with this egg, a very special combo with this egg. But until I have the combo with this egg, I want this card as my egg, because I want to draw cards. So, yeah, that's my egg lineup. Sometimes you need all 5. It's kind of crazy. Alright, now we move on to the actual Digimon. So starting with the rookies, we're playing 4 copies of Promo Kudamon. This Kudamon is my favorite one. It's an on-play that says return a Kentaurosmon from trash to bottom of the deck to recover 1. It also has an on-deletion heritable, -1000, never comes up. It's there to heal you back in the late game if you need it. But don't forget that Kentaurosmon decks have strategies that just require you to have the name Kudamon on a rookie. And that's mainly its main purpose. Though that is my favorite Kudamon rookie, so I play 4 of it. And then I'm playing 4 of this one. The one that came BT13 on play, reveal top 3, add a yellow Digimon vaccine in the trait, and a tamer to your hand, bottom deck the rest. Also, when attacking -2000 inheritable, it's fine. It's not really a big deal. I don't actually like hard playing that rookie in this deck because of my champion lineup in particular. We're playing only 8 hybrids for champions. I have tried vaccine champions. I've tried stuff. I've tried the Geo Greys, and I actually not playing Geo Grey anymore at all, just because of the new ban list and whatever. But I cut everything else. I'm only doing hybrids. Hybrids are not vaccines, they're variables. So it's kind of awkward because the Kudamon would put them at the bottom of the deck. Sometimes you have to hard play it, and sometimes you have to look for a piece and hope that you get it. But like the yellow hybrid base is just the best base for this deck. I've tried the other stuff. It just does not work for some reason. It puts you too reliant on the stack in the back, and that's not really a good idea all the time. Sometimes you just got to be able to climb up a hybrid to a Kentaurosmon. Sometimes you just got to do that. So the hybrids are the best way, in my opinion. I didn't have much success until I switched to hybrids. I'm just being honest. And those are the only champions, by the way, either. So far, the deck list looks a little wacky, I know, but it's fine. It all works. Not really a big deal. Ultimates, obviously the one Jet Sylphie, for some reason, still at 1, so we play 1 copy of it. Very occasionally, actually, it conflicts with Kentaurosmon, because it's sometimes really easy to get that sweet spot of 6 security for both players, and Jet Sylphie puts you over the edge a little bit. So I don't actually like it a whole lot in this deck, but it's Jet Sylphie. You gotta play the 1 copy of it. Now, the main ultimate in this deck are the 4 copies of the original Rise Greymon, the one that gives you Sec +1 if you have 3 Tamers. Its other effect also when evolving, play a Tamer from your hand, whatever. That's fine, but like it's there for the Sec +1. It is there for that reason alone. And our final ultimate in the deck is 1 copy of Rise Greymon X. Rise Greymon X has a when Digivolving, you play a Tamer, and if you evolve it over a Rise Greymon, you get to do -2000 DP for each Tamer to something. Costs 4 to evolve normally, or just 1 on a Rise Greymon, and during your turn, 1000 DP for every Tamer you have. I just needed a 6th ultimate. Literally, I needed a 6th ultimate. And that's it. That's why we play it. I still think that these 4 are way better. This is just bonus points sometimes. It comes up sometimes. It's fine. Okay, Megas. 4 copies of Kentaurosmon. This is your boss monster. So on play or when Digivolving for 5, you... if both players, if you add up the total security counts of both players and they equal 6 or less, you gain 3 memory back. Then you reveal a card in your hand. If it's yellow, put on top of security. There are very good targets for that, which we'll get to when we get to them. But that's a when attacking effect. It says once per turn, trash top card of your security to unsuspend it. Give something minus 7,000 DP. The main wombo combo with the jamming egg is this with this and Rise Greymon. You can do 4 checks with jamming. That's it. That's the main combo. Like, there's nothing too crazy about that combo, I don't think. I think it's pretty self-explanatory how that works. But it does come up sometimes. And Rise Greymon makes your Kentaurosmons swing hard, which is why we're playing 4 copies of it. Even without jamming, a 13k body, it's going to be hard to die to security. It just is. So yeah, it's your main boss monster. It's Kentaurosmon. Love to see it. Alright. Our backup Mega are 2 copies of Venusmon. Venusmon has your when Digivolving security -1 to everything, global effect. And then it's during the opponent's turn. Anything with a security attack modifier can't attack it, can't activate wind attacking, and can't activate wind Digivolving effects. Venusmon is really broken. It's going to do a lot of scary shit next set for sure. But this is a Kentaurosmon deck, so I kept Venusmon on the sidelines for this one. 2 copies of it. Still comes up sometimes. Especially because we play a lot of cards in this deck that give you a security minus modifier. So Venusmon sometimes just sticks around for a bit and prevents your opponent from playing the game. That's really nice. 7s. We play 2 of them. We play 1 copy of Shine Greymon Burst Mode, or Ruin Mode, sorry. Of Always Walls for 5. When Digivolving, global -5,000. On deletion, global -5,000. And end of attack, it deletes itself to pop something, recover 1, and hatch an egg if you have space, and a heal card. Shine Greymon Ruin Mode, just a very powerful level 7 in the deck. It's a card that always feels good to have. You love to see it. And that's it for that. The level 7 we're playing is 1 copy of Jesmon GX. You know, Generation X, get your game on, you know. You get it? You get it? Okay. So, this card evolves for 5 on any Royal Knight. Conveniently, Kentaurosmon's a Royal Knight, so it works. When Digivolving, you may place a card with Royal Knight in its traits from 13 cost or less from your hand or trash under this card, activate one of its when Digivolving effects, and then Blitz. So basically, it lets you put on Kentaurosmon, it lets you gain back 3 memory, lets you put a card to the top of security, and then you can Blitz with it. That's pretty good. And then for every Kentaurosmon in its stack, security +1, also has piercing and blocker all turns. So, very powerful top-end card. This is the closest thing to a Win-More card in the deck, I think. But, I will say that Jesmon GX actually wins games sometimes by itself. It actually won a match for me today. It allowed me to put an extra card on top of my security, which allowed me to actually survive the turn that was coming and win the next turn. So Jesmon GX actually came in handy for that reason alone, which is really cool. The 1 copy of it I think is fine. It comes up, it can win games. It can steal games. Sometimes it's not just hybrid for game. It can be Jesmon GX for game because you can blitz all over your opponent's face. It's pretty cool. It is really nice. That's it for the Digimon in the deck. Now, you've noticed that there are some really wonky ratios. 8 rookies, 8 champions, 6 ultimates, 6 megas, and 2 level 7s. The deck space in this is really tight in this deck. It's one of the tightest decks I've ever come across. It's so tight, you just don't know what to do with it. You don't know. And deck building for this deck is an actual challenge when coming up with 50-50 cards that actually work. Because you need to make room for your tamers, and you need to make room for your options. And when you have 8-8 and 6-6 plus 2, that's 30 Digimon. The rest of our deck, the 20 remaining cards, are tamers and options, and you need every single card. I'm going to show you. So we're playing 4 copies of Richard Sampson. This is your Kentaurosmon tamer. Start a main phase. If the security totals are 6 or less for you combine both players, you gain memory. Cool. Main effect, if 6 or less security exists, suspend it, warp one of your Kudamon and Kentaurosmon for its evolution cost. It lets you skip, and skipping is really fun sometimes. Also, if you trash from security, it comes back on the board. So, it's a valid Kentaurosmon target, something you want to stack on top of your deck with Kentaurosmon. one of the 3 cards in this deck you want to stack with Kentaurosmon. Pretty good card. Pretty good card. We play 4 copies of Memory Tamer TK. You need TK to grab your pieces from security, especially because we're not playing the 1 copy of Geo Gray. We're not doing that anymore. So the 4 copies of TK is super necessary just to grab whatever you need from there. It could be a Kentaurosmon, could be a hybrid, could be a Kudamon, could be an Odin's Breath, whatever. Like, you need to grab your cards, a Venusmon, whatever. You gotta grab it. You gotta be able to grab it. You gotta remember Tamer as well. Lastly, a Tamer that has saved my ass in this deck so many times. Taikari, 4 copies of it. The card is very, very, very strong. You start your turn with an extra memory or 2, depending on the security totals. This Tamer gets you a lot of memory. It really does, and it's really powerful. On top of that, during your turn, you suspend it. The security Digimon your opponent controls are minus 2,000. It lets your Kentaurosmon survive a little bit. It makes it a little more squishy. Like, Kentaurosmon with this Tamer beats World Knights every time. Every time. You just get one of those in a Kentaurosmon, there's nothing in their security that can stop you. You just roll over them. Roll over them. It's really good. So the 4 copies of it, I think, are mandatory for this particular format. Moving on to options, 8 cards left in the deck. Playing 4 copy of Odin's Breath. So Odin's Breath is another card that if you trash from security, activates. So this is actually your prime target that you want to put on top of your security with Kentaurosmon. I told you there's 3 of them. That's the main one. That's the main one. This card's main effect says when your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3,000 until the end of your opponent's turn, then if there are 6 fewer Digimon security cards for both players, global security attack minus 1. It's basically Holy Flame. It's basically Holy Flame. Holy Flame is broken. So it's nice having a Holy Flame that can trigger with your Kentaurosmon. You gotta play 4 copies of it. It plays as a control deck. Your opponent can't really kill you through an Odin's Breath. Just can't do it. Not this format anyway. And to make things even more degenerate, we're playing 3 copies of Holy Flame. We are. See, for some reason, in my brain, when I was playing Kentaurosmon previously, I convinced myself that 4 Odin's Breath was enough. It was not. Straight up lie. We are playing 7 copies of cards that, when hit in security, basically, they minus 1 security your opponent's board. With Venusmon, it's obviously very strong, but just by itself, it's really strong. Royal Knights can't kill you. Blue Flare can't really kill you that much. Same with Shine. Hunters can't really do it. It's situational. Every deck has its ways to do it. So it's not unwinnable for any of those decks, but it really helps. And that's a card you can put on top of the deck with Kentaurosmon, or top of your security Kentaurosmon. You don't have to burn a card with Kentaurosmon. You know that, right? You can just put it there and let your opponent deal with it while you slowly build up resources to kill them. Holy Flame is just that good. It's crazy. I would play 4 copies of it, but the last card in the deck is 1 copy of Reinforcing Memory Boost, because it is at 1, and I think it's just a very powerful card to have. That's it. So that's going to do it for the final BT13 deck profile of this channel, and Kentaurosmon, Yellow Hybrid. I really, really like this deck, and I'm so happy that I found a build that works for me, that can beat the meta, and works for me. Fun fact, if I went to the SoCal Regionals, they're Greenville, I think, or whatever, I would have played this, and I know I would have done well. I know I would have. Unfortunately, rides canceled and shit happens, but I'm really happy that I figured out the deck, and I hope you guys like it. And BT14's coming around, and you'll be able to play Kentaurosmon again, and it'll be really, really cool. Alright, guys, what do you think? Please let me know in the comments, and I will see you later. Goodbye!